It's 12:40 a.m. November 27th, 2025. Around a little after midnight on Monday, I went on my YouTube and I saw that somebody changed the audience preference on my YouTube. I had it set for people 18 years old and over. Somebody had it to my YouTube, but then put the audience on um, available for kids to watch also. So I called up to the police station and asked them what's the best thing to do, and they told me that a deputy was gonna call my phone, and they said be on the lookout for a private number. Then I got a call from somebody named Ralph Miller, but it wasn't a private number. It was the actual number and the first and last name to it. So I didn't believe that that was the police, but they called me and they said that they were the police. And I talked on the phone with them for about 10 minutes. Told me that they were he told me his name was Deputy something, and he was giving me the advice as far as like what to do as far as making a report about my phone getting hacked. And then about 10 minutes after that, at 1:55 a.m., I got a call from a private number, and it was the police stating that they just was calling me to see if everything was all right. And I told them I just talked to them. So then the next day, I called up to the station and told the lady that I got a call from somebody named Ralph Miller. And I asked them, ain't it like basic procedure when you basically like tell a deputy to call your phone, they got a call from like a private number, and they're like, yeah. But then when I gave them the number, they told me that number actually went back to a police officer. It wasn't somebody named Ralph Miller though. It was a dude. It was a police officer's name, and either that person got that first and last name on their call ID, I don't know, or somebody just reached out and then hacked into that person's cell phone and then put a duplicated, a falsified name on a call ID to show up for my phone to pick up on. Because let me just give an example. Let's say you open up a cell phone app with a fake number. You know what I'm saying? And that you could put your own name up on that number. Some people can do that, but they can also duplicate somebody else's number and then put a name on that. So either that happened, you know what I'm saying, or maybe that person but all I know is the name that the lady told me at the station did not match the name that was on that call ID. You know what I'm saying? Another thing, when I was at the testimonial shoulder, I think that somebody got paid to make up a lie. I think somebody paid some gay dude to make up a lie. I think somebody flew out from Michigan, South Carolina, or Florida, one of these states, and then came into the testimonial church that I was going into on every Sunday because I was in the testimonial shelter, and I think a bold-faced lie was told on me. Another thing, I never spent a day or a night at somebody else's house when I was in Los Angeles, California. Nobody ever nobody ever told me that they had gave me an apartment, and no social worker ever told me that they got me fixed up with some apartment to get into. None of that shit, yo. None of that. I got to make that clear. July 12, 2024, I came to Los Angeles, California. I got off the plane. July 12, 2024. That's on paperwork, cameras, every damn thing. You know what I'm saying? By July 18, 2024, I went to the testimonial shelter. Between July 12th and July 18th, I was at the LA Mission. You know what I'm saying? Every single night, you had to basically book your stay there to basically have a mattress to sleep on later on that night. You know what I'm saying? You go upstairs to go to sleep around 8, 9 p.m., and then you leave at 5 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning or something like that. So from July 12th to July 18th, I was at the Los Angeles Mission, the LA Mission. You know what I'm saying? And then I went to the testimonial shelter. July 18, 2024, and I was at the testimonial shelter all the way up until September 11, 2024. When I left the testimonial shelter, I went back to the LA Mission because they kicked me out of there, and I booked a night. I booked a stay at the LA Mission in September 11, 2024, all the way up until September 17, 2024. Then I went to the tiny home shelter from September 17, 2024 to June 10, 2025. When I first started working at CSC, I went to the orientation in August 2024, right? They gave me a check for my orientation. I was still at the testimonial shelter when they gave me a check for going to orientation at CSC. But then when I started working at CSC, I was already at the LA Mission. That was where I was I couldn't really label that place as a place of residency because I wasn't in a program. I was just booking my stay every single night to stay at that shelter. You know what I'm saying? And then from September 11, 2024 to September 17, 2024. I was there. Then I went to the tiny home shelter on September 17, 2024. I was never in Compton. A fucked up ass lie was told about me. I had a black and white Adidas hoodie. It wasn't the one that zip up. It was the one that was just like a whole one piece. That got stolen. I had a hat that said John 146 on it. That got stolen also. And I had all of that in the bag with my contact lenses and stuff. And it also was my ID from Walmart Distribution Center that I worked at in Ridgeville, South Carolina from March 2022 all the way up until January 2023. And right after that shit got stolen, right, I was in the chapel talking to this dude that was the pastor at the LA Mission. I went across the street to take a piss at a porta potty, and I saw that bag in the fucking porta potty, literally in the toilet. And I saw my contact lenses in there, my ID from Walmart in there, and I just said, fuck it, I don't even care. I don't know who got that black and white Adidas hoodie. I don't know who got that John 146 hat. That's the Bible scripture on it. I don't know who got that, but somebody took that and then tried to frame and lie on me and sabotage me. Along with the clothes that I left at this place called The Bin, my image got framed and lied on and sabotaged again because I left a lot of my clothes in there, and I think somebody took those clothes that worked there and made up another bigger lie, a more of a big bold-faced lie on me. I'm also speak on this. December 2015, I met this one lady on MLK. You know what I'm saying? I got her number. I still remember she was like dark skinned. She was she was thick. I never had sex with this lady though. I still remember she had on some tan pants. I never had sex with this lady, never. But by the 1st of January 1st, 2016, I remember I sent her a message either around that time or maybe right after that time. And I remember she responded back to me, New Year. And that's all she said was New Year. And I basically like, she basically was like saying, nigga, you know, fuck you. Or she basically was just curving me or whatever. Like basically saying, New Year, you know, I ain't talking to you no more. So to be honest, I started roasting on her. At that day, at that age, on that day, I was 25 years old, yo. So I started roasting on her back and forth. I started like cracking jokes about how she be mixing stuff with her weed, because she said at one point in time that she be like sprinkling I think she said she be putting coke on her weed or something like that. This is a long time ago. Or I don't know. She said something like, I know she referred to her weed as like she smoked dirty sometime. She told me that she had a brother who had like passed away though, because she told me she had a brother that was gay or something like that, and some dude in Fort Myers that took her brother's life or some shit like that, yo. Like some gay dude in Fort Myers that put some gay dude in Fort Myers that was her brother had put some dude on blast that was from Fort Myers. And she told me a story about how some dude had like took her brother's life and burned him up and stuff like that. But she told me that earlier on, but when I was basically arguing back and forth with her, that was just me basically just being stupid and being like silly and shit, yo. That was just me being childish, to be honest. And then she said something like, you on a book. She said she put me on a book. She put me on Facebook. So I don't know what she said about me. She didn't even know me. Me and that lady never had sex. But about a couple weeks after that, I went up into the Steak and Shake. That was off of like Metro, I think. Metro and Colonial. And I saw her in there. I didn't say nothing to her because at the time I was with this girl named Mona. I didn't say anything to her like I knew her, but I was just like keeping it cordial. And even my ex told me, she came to that Steak and Shake like a week after that, and my ex told me that her little brother was asking her, well, like, why is that lady being so mean to you? Because she came in there again and she said that lady was like being real mean to her. And I opened up to her and I told her, I was like, look, I kind of roasted on that lady. I got into like a back and forth roasting session with her. You know, she was cussing me out. I was roasting on her. You know, that was in the past. But I never had sex with that lady. You know what I'm saying? I never had sex with her. Like that was a long time ago. This was back in like the beginning of 2016. So I feel like ain't no way that lady could still be even saying a single word about me, or ain't no way somebody could even be reaching out to her. Another thing, I don't know why I've been thinking about this. Like this movie Set It Off as of lately, yo. Like I've been thinking about, I don't know if somebody used the same hairstyle that I had and made up a lie about me or tried to make a duplicate of me or something like that. Look, yo. I had a short haircut, I had an afro, I had cornrows, and then I had dreads. In that exact order. You know what I'm saying? Those main hairs, like from like September or October 2015 all the way up until February 2016, I had an afro. I got cornrows by like February 2016 or something like that. And I had cornrows for about uh, from like February 2016 all the way up until like the springtime of 2017, and then I got dreads by like May or June of 2017 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I had dreads ever since. So I don't know, some type of lie been told to me. I don't know, yo. I remember one time this dude Ryan, you know what I'm saying? He deceased now. He told me a story one time about like he walked up out of somebody. He told me he walked up out of somebody's house. He said it was some type of altercation going on and somebody was being like held against their will, and some dude got into it with some dude, or he was in the bathroom or something, and somebody kids was crying in the bathroom or something like that. I remember Ryan telling me this, yo. And it was another dude named Ryan Thomas that worked at Coca-Cola. Ryan used to also, the Ryan that I knew that's passed away, he also used to work at Coca-Cola. I met up with them and like, I think this was at the end of 2016. I just came through and smoked with them. They was at this dude's house that was basically DJing. This dude that was DJing, he was, I always try to remember where I seen that dude at before, but I couldn't put my finger on it. Yo, this light-skinned dude. I just know that Ryan was in there like recording some music and stuff like that. And Ryan Thomas was with him. Ryan Thomas was a dude that worked at Coca-Cola also. So I used to, I pulled up on them niggas and just smoke with them or whatever. But I don't know, yo. I don't know if something is being said about that. I think that was the last time I seen Ryan Thomas. And it was another time I pulled up on this dude Ryan. You know what I'm saying? I was coming to get some weed from him. And he was out there arguing with it. I still remember this day like it was yesterday. He was out there arguing with his baby mama, and she was basically stating like, ain't no court dates and nothing. That's basically saying that you can keep our kids or something. She said something like that, yo. You know how it go. Niggas be in arguments with their girl or their baby mama and stuff like that. And I just came there to try to get some weed or something. So when I realized it wasn't going that way, I was like, man, I'm about to dip. I'm about to be out, yo. I'll holler at you later. And then I called him up later to make sure he was all right. I didn't get an answer. Then this girl answered the phone like, she was like, you gonna take him to court? Like she answered the phone and said something like that, like, you gonna take him to court? Said something like that. Like, and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna get off the phone, yo. I'm like, no, I ain't taking him to court. I don't know what y'all got going on. But he told me later on that he ended up punching some dude in the jaw that was that lady boyfriend. He told me his baby mama boyfriend basically like jumped out the car on him and he hit him in the face or something, like pulled his gun on him or something like that. But I was already gone when that had happened. So I don't know if somebody's trying to put that on my name. I don't know. That was a very long time ago, yo. That was a very long time ago. That was almost 10 years ago, I think, because that was in 2017, 2016, 2017 was what? 8 years ago. So, I don't know, yo. I don't know what all kind of lies been told, but I will say this much. If somebody's running around Florida making up some bold-faced lie about me, yo, or if somebody has actually went as fucked up and as far as to actually like try to fly to another state and then frame me and sabotage me, I am going to find out everything. There's no way you can hide that from me. I don't give a fuck how much my phone been blocked away. If somebody has actually went out their way to maintain and stage some type of lie like that, I'm going to make sure that I find out everything that happened. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no way you gonna get away with trying to frame and sabotage me like that. And it's been the same. Like, as far as my sobriety goes and my celibacy goes, I still been celibate almost 4 years and sober almost 3 years. But it's been times I woke up and I felt like I had too much of a deep state of sleep. Right when I woke up, I feel like I was too well rested. So it's been times I reached out and made reports like, look, test my blood and urine. I want to make sure it's not